Good afternoon and welcome to Channel 44. I am Mercy Gashegu Sembatia to bring you this afternoon's business news segment with Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. Well, we'll start with what's happening in business around the city. A tune of 920 billion Ugandan shillings is to be spent on land compensation of people ahead of the commencement of the construction of the Jinja-Kampala Express Highway that is slated for June next year. This is the second phase of the flyover after the Kampala-Entebbe flyover, which is seen to be completed soon. This was revealed by Engineer Isaac Kwane, who is the Director, Network Planning and Engineering at Uganda National Roads Authority during a conference where he revealed that the compensation process has been one of the major challenges in the preparations for the construction of the Jinja-Kampala flyover project. Engineer Isaac also noted that the compensation is in line with the international framework under the World Bank, which dictates that all people must be compensated before the construction of the projects start.
Private party to develop the Kampala Expressway as a public-private partnership, and the project comprises of the Kampala Southern Bypass, which will connect the Mudongo Spur to Northern Bypass, but also to the main line from Kampala to Jinja. Now, government also partnered with development partners like African Development Bank and the French Development Agency, and we signed a financing agreement in support of this public-private partnership. So we have a land acquisition process, and like the Honorable Minister has indicated, that it causes actually major socio-economic, environment and political challenges. And indeed, for the case of the Kampala-Jinja Expressway, there was a conflict between the land acquisition processes and laws of Uganda and the International Finance Corporation policies with regard to involuntary settlement. One of such noted specific areas of conflict is in regard to deal with the compensation, settlement and the livelihood restoration of project affected persons who do not have recognizable legal rights to the land or assets they occupy. Now, this project traverses along that very long corridor, and we encountered three categories of project affected persons. The first category are the people who have formal legal rights to land or assets they occupy, and those are the people with titles. Those ones our law recognizes them, and we've been compensated in that category. The second category are the people who do not have formal legal rights to land or assets they occupy, but have a claim to the land or assets, to land and assets which is recognized in our laws. And those are what they are popularly called in Rwanda owners, because they have a claim to the land. Now, those ones also under our legal framework, national laws, those ones can be compensated. Now, the third category, which was the gist of the matter for the cabinet, are the persons who have no recognizable legal rights or claim to the land or assets they occupy or use. Now, this category mainly occupies land, including public land, railways land, land for NFA, land for NEMA, and wetlands. For instance, areas of Kasokoso and so on. So the decision was the international policies actually provide that compensation to this category be made at full cost, at full replacement cost for their developments, and the choice for option of adequate housing with security of tenure. That's what is contained in the international practices. But our laws require that such people without legally recognizable interest to the land or assets they occupy would ordinarily be considered as squatters, and they are evicted from that land.
Well, that's what's happening here in Kampala. Still about Uganda, in a bid to improve on workers' health conditions at their respective workplaces, the government of Uganda is set to come up with Amendment Workers Acts 225 that will help address many challenges that affect workers in the country, especially at their different workplaces. This Amendment Workers Act was introduced to Cabinet on Monday this week, and after will be taken to Parliament and discussed upon when it will become law and later assented by the President. According to the Minister for Labour, Charissa Ngola, the content of this act will reduce on the complaints against violation of workers' rights that include failure to compensate them in case they are injured and other related cases that workers go through.
The Act provides for, among others, 1. Treatment and provision of medical aid to the injured workers. 2. Compensation for the losses of earning capacity arising from an injury or scheduled diseases suffered or contracted during the course of employment. 3. Notification of accidents which should be made to the labor officers. 4. Payment of compensation to dependents of diseased workers who died in the course of employment. Ladies and gentlemen, the proposal to amend the Workers' Compensation Act, CAP 225, arises from the need to address gaps and delay that affect implementation of the Act. The proposed principles to amend the Act aim at streamlining matters related to assessment, compensation, and enforcement of the awards to workers for injuries suffered and scheduled diseases incurred during the course of their employment, among others. Dear members of the press, it is important to note that failure to address the issues affecting effective management of the processes for compensation of workers for the injuries incurred in the course of employment will mean that the country will continue to suffer rising costs of litigations, increased labor complaints and disputes related to workers' compensation, increased occupational injuries, diseases and deaths, increased socio-economic vulnerabilities, and reduced quality of work and low labor productivity. 5. If amended, will improve the assessment, compensation, and enforcement of awards to workers for injuries suffered and scheduled diseases incurred during the course of their employment. This will go a long way in protecting the rights of workers and promotion of industrial harmony. The proposed principles for amendment of the Workers' Compensation Act, CAP 225, were approved by Cabinet on 23rd January 2022, and we await instructions for the drafting of the bill. Once the bill has been finalized, it will be presented to Cabinet for approval before it is sent to Parliament for debate.
Moving on, tomorrow is the 26th of January 2023, and it will be marking some years since the NRM took over power here in Uganda. Every year on the 26th of January, Uganda commemorates the date when the NRM overthrew a government that was corrupt, known for civil rights offences, practiced significant voter fraud while in power every January the 26th, and that happened in 1986. This year's NRM Day celebrations are due to take place at Kakumiro district in western Uganda, where the President of Uganda himself, Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni, is set to grace the occasion. Speaking to the government minister in charge of ICT and national guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, several key achievements that the country has reached on ever since the NRM took power to be displayed tomorrow. These include infrastructure, industrialization, citing numerous industrial parks which have been set up in different parts of the country. Here is the Honorable Minister.
Achievements of NRM in the last 37 years. I will start with my ministry here of ICT. Sincerely, 1986, those who were born by then, you know how telecommunication was. For instance, me who comes from Kasese, and I used to stay in Kilembe, you would first dial a phone where you roll a wheel, and then it goes to post office. Then the post office connects you, and that's when you could talk. The landlines were very few, limited to actually offices and rich people. But now, if you look at the far have gone in telecommunication, it's very wonderful. Mobile phones everywhere. And now we have put one of the licensing conditions to telecom companies. You must cover at least 90% of the whole country for us to renew your license. And that is now a condition. So I strongly believe in the next 5 years, 90% of the country, even 100% will be covered by network. And it has made business very easy. You can see how internet has made things so much easier. Now, even you can do business when you are here. You don't need to go to the States to travel, to spend a lot of money to go and do business. You can do business from home here. Look at the media. We had only one TV. Now we had close to more than 40. We had only one radio station, Radio Uganda. Now we have over 300 radio stations. Even you yourselves now, newsmen, you are working because they liberalize the communication sector, and that's why all these TVs are coming up, and you have reason now to smile because you're working with them. Technology has gone very far, and now there are so many innovations coming every day in the ICT sector. So, and I strongly believe in the next 5 years we shall be very far. Reviving our industry sector, so many industries are coming up. If you go to the industrial park in Kapeka, 30 industries have come up. You go to Namave, you go to Mbale, there's now one coming up in Kasese where they are going to assemble buses. I think that you can see that there is progress in every sector.
Well, that brings us to the end of our local business news. We will now take a very short break, look at today's fuel prices in and around the city from major fuel pumps. Stay tuned to Channel 44. We'll return with international business. Thank you for watching Channel 44 in our international business news. Tesla said yesterday it would invest more than $3.6 million to expand its Nevada manufacturing complex with 2 new factories, including the first facility to mass produce its long-delayed semi-electric truck. The other factory will make new battery cells called 4680 and have the capacity to make enough batteries for 2 million light-duty vehicles annually. Together, the plants will employ about 3,000 people. The Elon Musk-led company's existing complex in the city of Sparks makes lithium-ion batteries, vehicle parts, and other products such as Powerwall, a power backup system for consumers. Moving on, a stock exchange experienced a technical issue yesterday that led to a brief trading halt for dozens of major companies just after the market opened. As a result of the issue, some trades that occurred before the halt will be made null and void, according to an exchange representative. Overall, more than 250 stocks were impacted, including such major names as Verizon, McDonald's, Morgan Stanley, AT&T, Nike, MasterCard, Uber, Wells Fargo, Shell, 3M, Sony, UPS, Visa, Walmart, and ExxonMobil, according to the New York Security Exchange. Many of the stocks made large moves just minutes into the morning trading sessions, sending the shares of companies like Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley into a nosedive. Moving on, Microsoft posted weaker than expected revenue and a double-digit percentage drop in profit for the final 3 months of the last year amid broader economic uncertainty and reduced demand for personal computers and software. The tech giant reported revenue of $52.7 billion for the quarter, a modest 2% increase from the year prior, but slightly less than analysts had expected. It reported net income of $16.4 billion, a 12% decline from the year prior. And still in international business, a dispute between two billionaires once united in a visionary project to send power from Australia to Singapore through the world's longest subsea cable has escalated, with one blaming cost blowouts on inexperienced management. Fortescue Metals billionaire Andrew Twiggy Forrest told the press on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos that the capital costs of Sun Cable's Australia-Asia Powerlink project, AAPL, just kept rising by 10%, 50%, 100%. He said that it isn't sustainable. That's what he would expect with inexperienced management and a board of directors who have never done large projects. Well, it's now time for our Forex news update. Let's look at today's Forex rates, see how the dollar is performing against major world currencies. Stay tuned to Channel 44. We'll be back with more international news, with more international business news. Stay tuned. Well, at different forex bureaus, the prices of the dollar keeps rising and falling, so it would be better for you to stay tuned to Channel 44 as we keep on bringing you the different fuel prices, the different foreign exchange rates in our business news. Off to the international business news, Elon Musk has told a court that he was trying to do the right thing when he issued a tweet he had enough backing to take Tesla private. The boss of the electric car company is on a trial after investors claimed the 2018 tweet cost them millions of dollars when a deal did not go ahead. Mr. Musk claims that he had met with the Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund, which indicated support for a deal. He admitted he never discussed a specific funding amount. Mr. Musk is accused of defrauding investors after he tweeted on the 7th of August 2018 that he had funding secure to take Tesla private at $420 per share and that investor support is confirmed. Moving on, the U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, and 8 U.S. states have filed a case against Google, alleging it has too much power over the online ad market. Its anti-competitive actions had weakened, if not destroyed, competition in the ad tech industry, according to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. Google accused the DOJ of doubling down a flawed argument. The case attempted to pick winners and losers in a competitive industry. Online advertising accounts for the lion's share of Google's multi-billion-dollar revenue. Google is the market leader, but its slice of total U.S. digital ad income has fallen from 36.7% in 2016 to 28.8% in 2022, according to market research firm Insider Intelligence. Well, that brings us to the end of this afternoon's business news. Stay tuned to Channel 44 and thank you for watching. Well, I remind you that revival services, revival nights are still ongoing here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. Come and join us. Pastor Robert Kayanja will be ministering. It's a new wave. It's a new move of the Holy Spirit. There is dream interpretation, deliverance sessions, healing of the sick, and many other things that happen in